Let's get one thing straight. He's not bitter, broken, or giving up on love. He's just tired. Tired of pouring into cups that never pour back. Of dating apps that feel more like job interviews than connections. Of being told to man up when all he really wanted was someone who sees him. If you're a man over 40, or even 50, you probably know exactly what I mean. Modern dating isn't what it used to be. And frankly, it's left many men quietly walking away. This isn't about hating women. This isn't about waving some red pill flag or going full MG Tao. This is about self-preservation, about men avoiding relationships not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Emotional peace has become the new status symbol for older men, because after years of dating disappointments, divorce recovery, relationship trauma, and yes, even midlife crises, it's not loneliness they fear, it's chaos. The drama, the games, the peace of mind they've finally earned, that's priceless. So no, he's not giving up. He's finally choosing himself, protecting his mental health, reclaiming his time, healing from relationship burnout. And the best part? He's discovering that being single over 40 can be just as fulfilling, if not more, than constantly chasing something that never quite feels right. But what changed? What finally pushed him to stop chasing and start choosing solitude with purpose? Let's talk about it. The shift from seeking to preserving peace. There comes a point when a man wakes up and realizes he's not the same 25-year-old who used to chase romance like it was oxygen. Now he values peace over passion, solitude over stress. It's not that men over 50 are incapable of love, it's that they're finally wise enough to recognize the cost of relationships that drain instead of build. When the drama outweighs the joy, when red flags outnumber green lights, he steps back, not in defeat, but in clarity. That clarity becomes a compass, guiding him toward emotional peace. Many older men dating today have scars you won't see, but they shape every decision. They've faced toxic relationships, manipulative partners, and even financial devastation from one-sided commitments. The emotional price? Sky high. That's why you'll see more men choosing solitude, not because they fear love, but because they fear losing themselves again. A man who's rebuilt after divorce or survived a midlife crisis knows the value of protecting his energy. And once you taste peace, chaos just isn't attractive anymore. The shift isn't loud, it's quiet. It happens when a man deletes the dating apps, not out of bitterness, but out of boredom with the cycle. When he starts enjoying dinners alone, hobbies reignite, and his mental health finally stabilizes. He starts to see the single life over 40 not as a curse, but as a canvas. The noise fades, the pressure lifts, and for once, he breathes. But where does that leave him when society keeps telling him he should be with someone? Why peace feels better than validation? For decades, men were taught that success meant having the house, the car, and the partner. But nobody mentioned how much that partner could cost him, not just financially, but mentally and emotionally. So, when men over 40 start choosing solitude over seeking approval, it often confuses people. But here's the truth. The validation they used to crave now feels hollow. These men aren't avoiding relationships, they're avoiding pain. The kind that builds slowly and eats away at your peace like rust on metal. Validation used to come from someone liking your photo, texting back fast, or showing up to dinner with a flirty smile. But after experiencing relationship trauma, divorce recovery, or the endless swipe culture of dating apps over 40, older men learn to redefine their worth. They no longer need someone else to confirm it. Instead, they validate themselves through personal wins, like staying consistent at the gym, rebuilding their finances, or finding joy in hobbies they'd long forgotten. That internal validation? It lasts, and it's drama-free. Sure, it might look like loneliness from the outside, but from the inside, it's peace. Imagine this, waking up on a Saturday without emotional tension in the room. No guessing games, no passive aggression, no silent treatment, just coffee, clarity, and maybe a morning run. That's why men over 50 who are single by choice aren't sad, they're strategic. They've learned that modern dating struggles often come from trying to force connection in a world built on performance, not authenticity. So what happens when he stops performing entirely? The high cost of relationships in a modern world. Let's not sugarcoat it. Relationships today come with a price tag, and it's not just about splitting the bill. For many men over 40, the emotional and mental costs are what truly drain them. We're talking about the constant over-communication, the unspoken expectations, the fear of saying the wrong thing in a world quick to cancel. And don't even get started on dating apps over 40, where connection often means competing with filtered versions of reality. For men choosing solitude, it's not loneliness they dread. It's exhaustion from navigating that minefield. Many men have reached a point where they've done the math, and the ROI just isn't there. He's thinking, why sacrifice his emotional peace, his daily rhythm, his sense of self, for someone who might turn out to be another red flag in disguise? That's the cost of relationships he's learned the hard way, especially those coming out of long-term marriages or divorces, where the recovery wasn't just legal, it was psychological. These men now invest in things that actually pay off, like therapy, solo travel, new businesses, or even just peace and quiet at home. Let's be real. Modern women dating today also carry their own baggage, expectations, and scars. This isn't a blame game. But what older men have realized is this: you can't heal in the same environment that hurt you. So rather than jumping into yet another cycle of love bombing followed by ghosting, they pause, reflect, choose differently. And maybe for the first time they realize that protecting peace might mean not letting anyone in, unless she brings calm, not chaos. But does that mean they've given up on love completely? Redefining masculinity through solitude. For the longest time, masculinity was tied to how much a man achieved, and often that meant who he had on his arm. But now, more men over 50 are flipping that script. They're starting to realize that strength doesn't come from being in a relationship. It comes from having the courage to walk away from what doesn't serve them. Choosing solitude over chaos is no longer seen as weakness. It's wisdom. These men are learning to stand tall without needing anyone to lean on, and that, in itself, is revolutionary. The man who chooses to live peacefully and single after 40 isn't retreating. He's reclaiming. He's not running from love. He's running from the expectation that love should be a battlefield. His peace of mind, non-negotiable. He's tired of proving himself, tired of fixing what he didn't break, tired of dimming his light to fit someone else's comfort zone. So instead, he builds his own life, one rooted in purpose, not pressure. A life where protecting his mental health isn't optional, it's essential. This version of masculinity doesn't shout, it radiates. You'll see it in men who find joy in simplicity, who are fully present, who don't feel the need to chase or convince. They've let go of old definitions and created their own playbook. Want to see it in action? Look at the man who spends his Sunday reading, or hiking alone, or mentoring younger men without seeking applause. That's the kind of leadership that matters now. But when a man becomes this solid, what kind of woman could even match that? Here's the twist most people miss. He's not closed off to love. He's just no longer desperate for it. If a woman comes into his life now, it has to be different. He's not interested in dating out of boredom, loneliness, or social pressure. He's already experienced the fireworks and the fallout. What he's waiting for, if he's waiting at all, is someone who brings peace, not problems. Someone who understands that men avoiding relationships aren't bitter, they're boundaried. She won't find him on dating apps over 40, swiping endlessly. She'll meet him where he lives, in real moments, not virtual ones. Maybe at a bookstore, at the gym, or volunteering, building something that matters. Because this version of him isn't chasing attention, he's choosing alignment. He sees red flags early. He spots emotional immaturity before it becomes chaos. And if she brings pressure, performance, or power games, he's already walking away. Quietly, without fanfare, with dignity. He knows what he's built. He's survived relationship burnout, midlife crisis, and the painful silence of male loneliness versus peace. Now it's simple. Anyone who disrupts that peace doesn't stay. He'd rather be alone with clarity than together in confusion. That's the power of a man who's finally healed. He hasn't given up on love, he's just raised his standards. And maybe, just maybe, by choosing solitude first, he's creating space for the right kind of connection to finally show up. one that feels like home, not war. So now the question is, what's stopping you from choosing peace over pressure, from walking away from what drains you and leaning into the stillness that heals? You don't have to give up on love to protect your energy. You just have to stop settling for anything that costs your peace. Because the truth is, life after 40 or 50 isn't a downhill slide. It's a second act. And whether you're dating after 50, rebuilding post-divorce, or just stepping back to breathe again, this season can be the most powerful one yet. Are you still chasing what broke you? Or are you finally ready to build something different, with or without someone by your side? Don't let the world shame you for choosing solitude. The strongest men today aren't the loudest, they're the calmest. They've traded chaos for clarity, confusion for conviction. They've learned that being single by choice isn't loneliness, it's leadership. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what the modern world needs more of. If this message hit home for you, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this isn't the end of the conversation, it's just the beginning. There's more to learn, more to unlearn, and more to claim for yourself. Don't miss what's coming next. Your peace depends on it.